You won't believe what happened when HOA Karen tried to ban horse swims in our neighborhood. Seriously, she thought she could just wave her little HOA rulebook around and shut down the one thing that kept our horses happy and healthy. Guess what? The sheriff stepped in and bought the entire herd for his mounted patrol. Can you imagine the look on her face? I swear, I could hear her gasp from a mile away. It was like the universe served her instant karma on a silver platter. It all started on a blistering hot Saturday afternoon. The sun was beating down hard, birds chirping lazily, and the gentle splash of horses cooling off in the community pond was the only sound of peace in that uptight neighborhood. But then Karen, the self-appointed queen of rules, marched over, clipboard in hand, her face twisted with that classic "I'm about to ruin your fun" glare. "This horse swim nonsense is a health hazard," she declared loudly, as if quoting some invisible rule. "We're banning it effective immediately." Her words slammed down like a gavel, and suddenly the whole community felt this suffocating tension, like the calm before a storm. I could feel my chest tighten and my heart pounding. How could she just swoop in and take away something so simple, so joyful? The horses didn't deserve this. They'd been part of the neighborhood's charm for years. My neighbor, Tom, who's been riding those majestic beasts since he was a kid, just shook his head, sighing deeply. "Is this for real?" "She's losing it," he muttered, frustration bubbling beneath his calm exterior. You could almost hear the horses whinny in protest, their hooves stamping softly, pleading for a chance to splash just one more time. But Karen wasn't done. Oh no, she doubled down, sending threatening letters, organizing meetings where she practically yelled at anyone who dared speak up. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. I found myself pacing the porch, heart racing, questioning how one person could wield so much power and how we could stop her without descending into chaos. It felt like the whole neighborhood was holding its breath, waiting for the next move. Then, just when it seemed like Karen had all the cards, the sheriff surprised everyone. Out of nowhere, he announced he was buying the entire horse herd for the county's mounted patrol. What? The sheriff, known for his quiet but firm presence, stepping into this small neighborhood drama? The news hit like a thunderclap. The horses were going to a bigger purpose, a real one, serving and protecting, not just splashing in some pond. The irony was delicious. I still remember the day they arrived to take the horses away. The air was thick with mixed emotions, sadness for the loss, but also a strange sense of justice. Karen stood by, her face pale and tight, trying to mask the defeat. I caught a glimpse of a shaky breath she didn't bother to hide, like the weight of the neighborhood's disdain was finally crushing her. And you know what? The pond looked emptier without those big, proud animals plunging in and out of the water. The quiet splash was gone, replaced by whispers and sideways glances toward Karen's house. But karma? Oh, karma had a few more tricks up its sleeve. Days later, word spread that Karen had received a lawsuit from a group of residents who claimed her ban was illegal, arbitrary, and downright cruel. The community had banded together, hiring a lawyer to fight back, and the case was heating up fast. The sound of legal papers hitting mailboxes became the new neighborhood soundtrack, a stark contrast to the horses' joyful splashes from just weeks before. Karen's attempts to silence dissent turned into her worst nightmare. Her meetings were flooded with angry voices, her texts ignored, her power slipping like sand through her fingers. It was almost poetic. The woman who wanted to control everything was now fighting a losing battle against the very people she tried to oppress. And the best part? The sheriff's mounted patrol, now proudly riding those horses, became a symbol of unity and justice. Every time they trotted down the street, it was like a message to Karen and anyone else who thought they could bully their way through life. I have to admit, watching this unfold was like a roller coaster of emotions. One moment, I wanted to scream in frustration, the next I was laughing at how perfectly the story turned out. It made me wonder, how often do we underestimate the power of standing up together? How often does a single act of defiance ignite something much bigger? Karen's downfall wasn't just about the horses or a petty HOA rule. It was about reclaiming dignity, community, and the right to enjoy simple joys without fear. So here we are, weeks later, with the neighborhood buzzing about the lawsuit, the sheriff's horses shining under the sun, and Karen. Well, she's learning the hard way that you don't mess with people's happiness without consequences. Have you ever seen such a dramatic flip? I mean, who would have thought that banning a horse swim could turn into a full-blown legal battle and a symbol of resistance? Life really does have the wildest twists. If you want to hear more crazy stories about HOA battles, unexpected justice, and people standing up to Karens, make sure you hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. You won't want to miss what's coming next.